Okay, it is 6:31 and meeting was supposed to start at 6:30, so why don't we just get going this evening here. If I can pull up the agenda. I'd like to call to order the Town of Cohasset Conservation Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, September 3rd. It is 6:30. We are holding this meeting via a Zoom virtual meeting platform. In attendance this evening, we have, and we'll do this all by roll call votes. After I call your name, we'll do this all alphabetically. After I call your name, just please state whether or not you are here. We'll do this again alphabetically. We'll start with Kathleen Berrigan.
Here.
Eric Eisenhower. Eric, just unmute yourself and tell us you're here, please.
Excuse me, I'm here.
Thank you. You can go back to mute now.
Okay.
Jay Pimpari, here. James Roseback.
Here.
Thank you. And Marianne Weatherald.
Present. Marianne Weatherald.
Great. And hold on, bear with me here. And I just moved up, hopefully, Trish Grady.
Yep.
Thank you. Great. Glad
Sorry.
you could get on. Okay. So we have a full, well, we almost have a full quorum. We have 6 voting members this evening. Thank you very much. Just quickly before we get started, I want to say congratulations to Kathleen Berrigan, who was appointed by the Board of Selectmen, moved up from an associate member to now a full-time voting member, serving out a 3-year term. So Kathleen Berrigan will be a voting member tonight. We do have 6 members
Congratulations.
present this evening.
Thank you.
Congrats,
Kathleen.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Just thank you. Just a message to the audience here. If there are any questions, please put them through in the Q&A. Yes, Angela, Chris McFarland is not here this evening. So again, anybody from the audience has a question, please just put that through the Q&A chat button down the bottom there, and we will address that when it comes in. All right, the first item of business, Jeff, if you could move up John Cavanaro. I believe he's going to represent the application here. If you could move him up, that would be great. While I read into the record the public hearing notice. Well, let me jump back here. Trying to do 1,000 things here on Zoom is not easy. Let me just tell you that. First item of business is originally scheduled for 6:30 is a notice of intent 19-22 449-451 Jerusalem Road, an amended order of conditions. This went out for public hearing notice. I'll read into the record that notice in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Cohasset Wetlands Bylaw and the Cohasset Stormwater Bylaw, the Cohasset Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Thursday, September 3rd, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. via remote participation on a Zoom platform for an amended order of conditions for notice of intent 19-22 and stormwater permit 19-27 for proposed additional work to square off the carriage house, reconfigure the pool area, add wood decking and other landscaping and hardscaping at 449 and 457 Jerusalem Road by applicant John Stavish. The public is invited to offer public input onto this application in writing by emailing jsummers@cohassetmass.org in advance of the public hearing and can also attend via the Zoom platform. Details for access to the Zoom platform and specific times for the public hearings will be on the Cohasset Conservation Commission agenda when posted, etc. Okay. I do also want to let everybody know that we...
Before we start, Mr. Chairman, I need to recluse myself from this discussion of this property.
Okay, you're a little bit broken up there, but I understand you're going to recuse yourself from this application, Marianne.
Thank you.
Okay. So for the record, Marianne Weatherald has recused herself. We still have 5 voting members on this project this evening. Okay. And for the record as well, I want to let note that Angela Giso, our conservation administrator, is here in attendance this evening taking notes, as well as our conservation agent, Jeffrey Summers, is available as well and is on the Zoom line. I am going to share my screen. Johnny, are you here?
Yes. Can you hear me
Hi,
okay?
John.
Good evening.
Having a little trouble with my screen here, but I think we'll be okay. Bear with me. Always dangerous when I go to share the screen. While I'm trying to share my screen here, John, maybe you can just give us a quick little overview. Just for the record, this is an amended project. Some of you may remember a couple months back, the commission had approved this project. Fairly lengthy project, in-depth project. I'll let John talk about that, but this is an amended order of conditions of a project that has already been in front of the commission and already approved. Again, this is just an amended application to that.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. Is it okay for me to proceed, Jay?
Yeah, I think that's what he wanted to do, John, while he was trying to get his screen up.
Sure. Good evening. Just for the record, my name is John Cavanero. I'm a civil engineer from Cavanero Consulting in Norwell, Massachusetts. And I'm here on behalf of John and Shelley Starvish, owners of 449 and 457 Jerusalem Road. If you recall, just real quick, I'll go back to what was originally approved. This is a project that included 2 individual single-family home lots that were essentially merged into one lot. And it was really a 3-piece project going from the ocean towards the street. We had a coastal bank rehabilitation component to the work. We had an eroding bank that had some historic runoff that was directed towards the bank, and it was creating some erosion, invasive growth around the edges of the bank and through the bank itself. There was some remnants of old stone walls that passed through this area. We started with a very large rehabilitation, and that was pared down to what we considered a minimal amount to re-armor the bank with heavy boulders. That has been completed successfully. It came out really nice. We cleaned up some of the miscellaneous stormwater that was directed towards there, some abandoned drainage as well. The second piece was the pool heading towards the street in between the coastal bank and the street. There was an approved, fairly oversized kidney-shaped pool with a large impervious patio that surrounded the pool. And then working back from there, we had the demolition of the existing non-conforming single-family home that was located very close to the side and front yard setbacks. That building was taken down, and in its place is going to be an accessory structure for the single-family home that exists today. And that was also relocated to be more conforming, further away from the lot lines, both front and side. What happened during construction was that the design became more refined. Quite frankly, it went from a building architect doing the principal layout to a landscape architect. The Starvishes brought on LeBlanc Jones, a well-renowned landscape architecture firm in Boston, to review the overall concept of what was approved and to come up with some ideas to reduce the overall impervious footprint, enhance the landscape component of it, enhance the vegetated cover, reduce the lawn cover, and increase the overall plantings, and also look at ways to reduce the impervious patio and really look at the site as one single family home versus the 2 individual single family lots that it was when it started. So what that resulted in was a minor modification to the building footprint itself, which really doesn't have much substantive change. But really what changed a lot was the elimination of a lot of impervious walkways that ran from the top of the property down towards the building itself. And it also resulted in a wholesale change of the patio around the pool. It was originally an impervious patio. Now it's going to be a timber decking over crushed stone. So it'll be a pervious patio that will surround the pool itself. And that really results in a large reduction in impervious coverage on the site. Originally, we had in the 50-foot buffer zone, I think the increase in impervious was about 1,900 square feet. And between the 50 and the 100, we were going up by about 900 square feet. This reduction actually knocks the impervious coverage down quite a bit in the 50-foot to a reduction of about 1,300 square feet.
So John, on the screen now, Jeff is sharing what is the old, I'd asked him to put up the old, I'm having some internet issues over here, so I apologize, but this is the old plan. I just wanted to see the old plan briefly before we talked about the new plan.
Right.
Can you just talk about here what the impervious areas are going to be reduced? And I appreciate the numbers being dropped down there, but you just give a quick little overview of what walkways or pathways are going to be eliminated?
Yep. So I'm not able to point on your screen, but just looking at the center of where the fire pit is. So the fire pit, if you just draw a circle around the entire pool, that was all impervious. That was all impervious right there, exactly. In addition to that, the walkway that leads from, if you move from the fire pit towards the home, right there, and head, so bring your cursor closer up, and then take a left, and then go down towards the driveway. All of that. Keep going. Walk towards the entire impervious walkway, not the steps, but there you go, right there. That is all being eliminated and replaced with vegetated cover. So the stairs are getting reconfigured, and that's getting eliminated. Also,
Okay.
The pool was
Great.
reduced.
Jeff, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. The pool was reduced in sort of overall scope, and so the rehabilitation of the retaining wall is not necessary. So that was a large, also impervious. So you can see on this is the new plan. You can see that the pool has been pulled away from the retaining wall substantially, and as a result, there's no need to do a large second retaining wall behind the existing retaining wall, because it was determined by a structural engineer that the existing wall was adequate with some minor pointing to support a reduced pool footprint. And also because we're changing the patio to a pervious cover, just did not necessitate.
So all in all, the reduction in the 50-foot buffer is there's a 1,300 square foot reduction in the 50-foot buffer as a result of this revised plan, correct?
Correct.
John, the red line is the 50-foot line,
Correct.
and the green line is the 100-foot line, because I don't see them marked at all on the what I'm.
Yes, they are. If you zoomed out, they would be labeled, but that's correct, Eric.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
In the 50-foot and the 50 to 100-foot buffer zone, we're actually reducing the total impervious by about 1,500 square feet from what was.
John, excuse me, 1,500 square feet. What is that in percentage terms in that area, in the 50 to 100 impervious total? What percent have you reduced it?
So we've gone, the approved design had 930 square feet. The revised design has about 550.
Okay.
So it's a 1,500 square foot reduction between the 50 and the 100. Overall, what this does on the site, across the site, we're actually reducing impervious coverage across the property as a result of this project. as revised by about 600 square feet. So what that means is that we really don't even warrant the stormwater improvements that we're still moving forward with, because this is really an overall win for the property. It also, quite frankly, protects their investment in this coastal bank rehabilitation that they just made, because it reduces the amount of runoff that's heading towards the bank, which ultimately probably led to long-term erosion, uncontrolled drainage. So the last piece of this that I just want to bring up is the actual planting campaign that's been proposed. I think, Jay, you had the planting plan up earlier. Here it is.
Right.
So this
I just want to say that is a substantial plan, and thank you for the color coordination on this one.
Yeah, I have to credit Chris Reagan from LeBlanc Jones, who I believe is on the call as well. But this articulates.
Did you want Chris to talk about this at all?
Sure. If you want to elevate him, he's here to answer any questions about the plan itself. So this is just the final piece.
I've just elevated Chris. Yep. Okay, I've just elevated Chris up. If anybody does have any questions for the landscape architect, feel free. So continue on, Jonathan.
Just to quickly recap. So what we're looking at is an overall reduction from the 0 to 100-foot buffer zone of about 2,800 square feet of what was originally approved. And overall, we're actually knocking the impervious coverage of the site as a whole by about 620 square feet. So really, it's a net real strong positive, in my opinion, of what was originally.
Yeah.
John, looking at this diagram here, there's a large yellow area on the left. It looks like kind of like a motorway. What is that large yellow area? It says sod on it. What does that mean? Is it lawn?
That'll be lawn. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all existing lawn now. It'll be reduced in footprint by the increase in all the vegetation that will be surrounding it.
Okay.
So it's basically all, with the exception of the pool and the pergola here, and obviously the exposed ledge that was already there. It's pretty much all sod, landscape, small bushes, trees, etc., all in that entire area. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Jeff Summers, any comments on this on your behalf?
I was just going to talk about the planting plan. I saw there was, I think it was Rosa rugosa, which I know Eric had talked about before as being not a specific plant that we want to have there, but I saw the alternative was Rosa Virginia, and I was wondering if we could have that instead of the Rosa rugosa.
Chris, do you want to comment on that?
Sure. Hi, my name is Chris Regan. I'm with LeBlanc Jones Landscape Architects, and that is correct. We did call out Rosa rugosa as the pink plant, and the reason we had called that out was that it exists on the 449 property, and we were trying to connect it from a design perspective, but we did list that Rosa Virginiana as an alternative, so we can substitute that out down within the 50-foot setback. And we might look at an alternative up at the pool area that is a native that, something like a clethra that might work a little bit better in and around that pool. Or
Christopher, this is very easily done. We have a list of authorized plantings that are native that we allow within the buffer zone. That is your list to choose from. You know, when you start bringing things that are not on that list, then all of a sudden we hit unnecessary points of dispute. It's very easy to take that list and just limit yourself to that. I mean, rugosa is not native. It's invasive. It's not natural to this area. So it's not on that list. There are 2 pages worth of plants which we authorize within the buffer zone for you to choose from. And that's more than enough, I think, for any good landscape designer to have a great deal of imagination and do really good work with, okay?
Understood.
So what exactly is not on the list, Jeff, that you would recommend here? Is it just the Rosa Rugosa?
Yeah, and there was a couple others that I'm not really that familiar with. I was actually going to see if I can zoom in here. Can everybody still see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was Rosa Rugosa. I guess the Arrowwood's okay.
I'm looking. Yeah. Chris, we run on an honor system here. We have the list. I think it's necessary for you to take that list and make sure that your list conforms with that. I think that's a responsible way to handle this.
Okay.
And not have us go out and tell you number 2 is not on it, number 3 is not on it. It's up to you to be consistent with our list. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with that. And so outside of the planting list, that as Eric has referred to, and I appreciate you zooming in on this, Jeff, but I think, again, we don't have to go through this plant by plant, but I do appreciate that. Are there any comments to the project? My original comments here is that, while there is some alternative work done in the 50-foot buffer zone, clearly there is what we'd like to see is a reduction in the impervious area in the 0 to 50. There's a 1,300-foot reduction. The 50 to 100, there's a 1,500 square foot reduction. So overall in the 0 to 100, which we like to see, there's a 2,800 square foot reduction in impervious surface. There's a pretty robust planting plan here that was not included in the original plan. So in my view, seems like a benefit to the site that's existing there now.
I think it would be very attractive, and if the plans conform to our planning list, it would be very, very constructive and very worthwhile. I have another question though, John. As you well know, I oppose this plan because of the amount of work that was taking place within the 50-foot buffer zone originally, wall and pool and all that. And you made the argument that you had thought there was a septic system that was already there, so this was already well worked and constructed upon land, and it was not virgin bank. In your work so far, have you found any remnants of the septic system that you alleged was there?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Do you have any photographs of that?
We didn't just allege it was there. We actually did test bits before we submitted the original plan to prove that it was there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't speculation. We had located it before we designed.
Okay, so where the pool is was land that had been worked and constructed on before.
That's
You're very
correct.
confident of that.
That's correct.
Okay.
John, how is the project going out there? I've driven by it. I haven't had a chance to stop in, but how's the project going out there so far? I see that it's been the smaller building's been raised.
Yep, it's going well. The bank restoration came out very well. It looks tremendous. I think it'll be a tremendous enhancement to the. We're talking about, as far as the resource area here, it is a coastal bank, and the performance standard for a coastal bank is 1 or 2 things, and in our case it's 1 thing. It's flood protection. So that's been enhanced tremendously, and I think this landscape buffer improvement will also lead to improvement to the bank itself, because it'll reduce runoff coming towards the bank and reduce that erosion.
I would add one thing, John. I think the value is more than just flood protection with the coastal bank. I think it's naturalness, it's use of native shrubs, returning it to a somewhat natural appearance. And I think you will have achieved that when you conform to our list of coastal bank plants, which are indigenous to this area. And I would support that, and it'll be much better off, because to be honest, there's a lot of, I don't know what's in there, semi-invasive plants and plants that shouldn't be in that area on the bank. And you'll be eliminating most of those and replacing them with solid members of our floral community, our natural floral community. So that's good.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Any other comments from the commission? Okay, any further comments, Jeff? I'm not seeing any comments from the audience here.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I agree with everything that you and Eric just said. So I was gonna suggest maybe we could get a revised plan from Chris. I'll send him our list, and he could just revise the plan to be in accordance with what's on those two lists that we have.
Yeah, I was going to make that a condition of an approval if there were no further comments. Okay, not hearing any further comments. I apologize. I'm putting my video off here because I don't know if I'm muffled. John, any further comments on your behalf?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. Again, apologize for the video, but it seems to be better. Hopefully you can hear me clear enough. Jay Pampari would like to make a motion to issue an order of conditions for the project at 449-451 Jerusalem Road, with a specific condition that a revised planting plan be submitted to the conservation agent. Let's just say by the 1 week from today, by close of business being 5 o'clock, September 10th, and the revised plan solely reflect native species of plants, shrubs that are on our list of native plants that Jeff can share with Chris, with the applicant. It's really a 2 or 3 page form there. It sounds like there are a couple species that weren't quite on there. So again, making a motion to approve the project with a revised planting plan by close of business being 4 o'clock, September 10th, with a revised plan to reflect plant shrubs that are native to Cohasset that are on our list. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Eric Eisenhower. We'll do this all by roll call vote here, starting with Kathleen first. Kathleen Berrigan.
Kathy Berrigan, yes.
Eric.
Eric Eisenhower, yes.
Tricia Grady.
Tricia Grady, yes.
Thank you. Jay Pampari, aye. James Roseback.
James Roseback, aye.
Great. That vote passes 5-0. We're also going to need a variance here, so Jay Pampari will make a motion to issue a variance for the project at 449-451 Jerusalem Road. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Having heard a motion in a second, we'll do this roll call vote again. Kathleen Berrigan.
Kathy Berrigan, aye.
Eric.
Eisenhower, aye.
Trish.
Tricia Grady, aye.
Jay Pampari, aye. James.
James Roseback, aye.
Great. That vote passes 5-0 again as well.
Thank you all very much.
Good luck with the project out there, guys and girls.
Good
Thank
luck,
you.
Christopher.
Thank
Hope
you.
it goes well, Christopher.
Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next item of business, which was originally scheduled for 6:45, was 589 Jerusalem Road Landscape and Vegetation Plan. Can everybody hear me fine here? Can you hear me fine? Great.
Doing well.
I would try and put my video back on here. I was having some real issues earlier on with connectivity problems here. Hopefully, if I go scrambled, let me know. Yeah, I just see another question here.
Are you still up in New Hampshire?
I am. I've just changed rooms because we have some guests from California quarantining have taken over my room. Angela, this is an amended, revised order of conditions. It's an amended project, Angela. Okay, so to get back to the agenda, sorry. This item is on here. The sole reason it's on here is because in June 25th, we continued that to a later hearing, and we picked a date out of the sky here, I believe, and the date was September 3rd. Today is September 3rd. I caught it a couple days ago, and it was through on the agenda at the last minute. We are not going to discuss it. We do not have any, excuse me, revised plans, and don't think we probably want to discuss too much now. I think we should just continue this hearing to a later date. The question is, how much later of a date do we want to push this to? I would probably recommend we push this to the first or second meeting in October. But before I do that, Jeff, have you talked to the applicant at all? Did they give you any hint? I don't believe they're on tonight.
Yeah, no, they were looking for October 8th. So it's 5 weeks from tonight.
October 8th?
Yes.
Yeah, you're totally broken up. I don't know if that was me or if it was everybody, but October 8th?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's continue this hearing till October 8th regarding 589 Jerusalem Road.
I'll second.
All right. We don't even, I don't even, do we need, I don't even think we have a need. Well, let's do a motion just for the sake
Okay.
of making this official here. Motion to move the hearing till October 8th, seconded by Eric Eisenhower. Do this by roll call vote. Kathy?
Kathy Berrigan, yes.
Eric?
Eric Eisenhower, yes.
Trish?
Tricia Grady, yes, or I, or.
Jay Pimpari, aye. James?
Rosebach, aye.
Great. All right, you can see I'm really wanting to get through this meeting tonight. I hope you all appreciate that. The next item of business was minutes of approval. I did have some very preliminary comments to one of them. I'm ready to, did anybody have any comments to the minutes of, we are not there, I needed to make some comments to the August 8th, 2020 meeting. There was an agenda item that I feel needed a little bit of rework, so we're going to push off August 6th. Are there any comments to the June 25th or July 23rd meeting?
Jay, I didn't have a chance to access them for connectivity issues. For my case, I'd appreciate it if we could delay it to our next meeting, but if everyone else is happy, I'd be happy with them.
I just had one minor comment to one of the agenda items. I did send it over to Angela. Does anybody else have any comments at all to the minutes?
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Eric. I think if no one has any comments,
Okay.
I'd just rather just get them approved so we look a little better on our internet webpage.
Eric Eisner moves to approve the minutes.
Move the appendix of June 25th and July 23rd.
Yep.
Seconded. And Marianne, I forgot you on the last vote, so I apologize. I'm going to jump back to you now. All those in favor, we'll do this by roll call vote. Please say aye. Kathy Berrigan.
Kathy Berrigan, aye.
Eric.
Eric Eisenhower, aye.
Tricia.
Grady, aye.
Jay Pimpari, aye. James.
James Rosebach, aye.
Marianne.
Marianne Weatherald, aye.
Great, thank you. Okay, conservation agent update. Jeff, anything going on? Anything to sign?
No, I have nothing that needs to be signed. I just wanted to say that on September 14th, the plan right now is for town hall to reopen, sort of. So basically what that means is that everybody who was working from home, either, you know, all the time or part of the time, will be working back here in the building. The access will still be restricted to the public, but you have to, if somebody wants to see somebody in the building, have to make an appointment first to come into the building, just so there aren't people wandering around looking for people. So that's supposed to happen on the 14th. And then I just wanted to mention too, for the MACC classes this month, I signed up for 2 because I need to brush up and learn more about plants. They have 2 planting classes. One's New England Plant Communities. It's a 2-day online course.
Oh.
They have a plant identification course in Acton, which is an actual field exercise. It's on the 15th.
Is that actually in person?
Yes. Yep. It's
Okay.
limited. It's limited to 8 people. I don't know how many have signed up yet or how much room is left. For some reason, I thought of you, Marianne, about this one. It was open space planning and protection. I thought you might be interested in that one. That's September 22nd. And then there's also climate change adaptation on the 25th.
Is that one live or is that one virtual?
They're all virtual except for the one plant identification class in Acton on the 15th.
Can you forward that link, the link to the other classes? I know we can all go on the Macc webpage, Jeff, but it'd be great if you could forward that.
Okay.
So again, you know, the town will pay for these classes. If you want to register, it's been a little difficult. You send an email to Lindsay Matucci, I believe is her last name. And I can, Jeff, if you have Lindsay's email, can you just include that in the email that you send out to the commissioners as well? And again, you just have to email Lindsay and let her know you'd like to register for this class, and she will take care of it. And she will bill the town. The town has been gracious enough to pay for all these. I haven't taken one in a few months, but I'll revisit the page again and see if there's anything worthwhile.
Jeff,
Okay.
do you mind using my home account for email until we can get my town email account resolved?
Sure.
Do you have that still?
Yeah, is it like T1 something?
Well, that's the town account is too close to Paul's. Mine is Trish and Sid, TRISHNSYD
Okay.
And that way you don't have to keep until we get it fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jeff, I would also appreciate if you, it's not asking too much, I don't think, could take the initiative on a monthly basis and let us know what's coming up that you consider important in the next 30 days so that we can kind of have your, say, Eric or, Patricia or Kathleen, this is coming up. I think all three of you would really benefit from it. Or, it's a good course of general purpose knowledge, all right? And kind of throw it in front of us instead of letting us react to it, which has proven not to be a very effective way of having to take the course. I think we all would like to take the course, but by the time I get around to doing it, it's generally too late. I would benefit with having someone say, just watch out for it. It's coming up soon. Note it, okay?
Okay.
I don't know how you do that. We don't have, monthly newsletters or anything like that. But maybe just sending out an email to all the commissioners saying that, certain things are coming up that would be worthwhile.
Got it.
That's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, anything else, Jeff?
No.
All right. I don't really have anything much to add. Again, I want to congratulate Kathleen Berrigan here. We
Welcome
still
aboard.
have 2 associate positions that need to be filled. The Board of Selectmen, or the Select Board, is in the middle of interviewing. Just FYI, we've had 3 candidates that have applied to be associates. So they're neither one of them are shoo-in, and the Select Board is interviewing them, as well as I have interviewed them as well, and we'll be giving some recommendations, but not going to discuss that right now. And I think regardless, we'll have 2 solid candidates to be associates, hopefully by the end of the month. So we'll round out the board and have a full 7 members plus the 2 associates.
Great.
And that's really all I have to add. I don't really have anything else to add. If there's something that comes up on the legal side of the house, I will let you know. We are awaiting a decision on Rust Way, which I'm not going to get into. There's nothing to discuss right now. All I will say is that the applicant, after the meeting, which you may have known, filed an emergency order to the court asking for an immediate decision and approval of the order of conditions. Town council has replied to that with its own motion. It's in the court's hands. The minute I hear something, I will let everybody know. And didn't really need to get into that much further. Any questions again, this is I wish every meeting was a nice, quick, easy meeting. Any 48-hour issues?
Nope.
Okay. Hope everybody is doing well. Jeff and Angela, what's our next meeting looking like 2 weeks from tonight on the 17th?
There's one new application. It's 76 Lambert's Lane for an NOI and a stormwater permit for basically a tennis court and mitigation planting. And there was one other thing, and now I can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
Okay.
Oh, Jeff.
There was only two things.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Well, again, we will start at 6:30. I really enjoy getting out of here a little earlier in the night. I don't need an answer right now, Jeff, but could you just see when the harbor plan is expected to submit its conservation application? Again, we're not looking for it, not wanting it, not pushing it whatsoever. Obviously, it's heavy in front of the planning board. They've had probably 3, if not 4 meetings right now. Not anxious to review it, but people are asking, hey, why isn't it in front of conservation? We're not pushing it again. Just curious if the applicant has a time frame so we can kind of get a little geared up for that when the harbor plan is going to be in front of us, because those will be some lengthy, longer meetings for sure.
Yeah,
I
okay.
want to make sure I take naps in October.
A youngster.
Yeah, yeah. Seeing another question. Second thing, oh, Howard Gleason. Okay, thank you, Angela. Howard Gleason Road is continued to the 17th. That's the invasive species wanting to get rid of the Phragmite project, if everybody remembers that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Angela.
They're going to resubmit another control plan or whatever?
Well, they're going to have to do something, yeah. As a result
Okay.
of our latest discussion, we continued it to the 17th. So
Okay.
you remember what happened at the last hearing.
Yep.
So we will look for a revised plan. Hopefully, it should be up on, if we could get that up on the OneDrive early next week, that would be great.
Super.
Okay.
All right, any 48-hour issues?
No, I was just going to say we haven't got anything yet from them for Howard Gleason. Thank you, Angela, for reminding us of that. I forgot what that one was.
Okay. If they haven't had anything in, Jeff, by next Wednesday, you may want to just give John a quick little email.
Yeah.
If there's nothing that's submitted by Wednesday morning, that we'll just immediately, when I won't even entertain an application. I don't want to be reviewing something on glyphosate or another chemical on Monday or Tuesday, 2 or 3 days before the meeting. So unless they get it in by Wednesday morning first thing, then we'll just let them know we're going to push it right off.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? 48-hour issues? Anything anybody want to talk about?
Happy
Everybody
Labor
wants
Day.
to get ready for Labor Day. Great. So do I. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Wonderful. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Labor
you,
Day.
Jay.
See you in a
Thank
couple
everybody.
weeks.
Thank you
you.
all.
Okay. Have a
Bye-bye.
good weekend, everyone.
Congrats, Cappy.
Thanks, Kathy. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kathy.
Bye.